Does Letlapa Mphahlele have the best interest of the PAC at heart? Will the PAC participate in the upcoming local elections? Why did the IEC suspend public funding to the PAC? And why do all PAC members not recognize Luthando Mbinda as the party's legitimate leader? What time is it? It's question time. Welcome to the show. My name is Mphahlele. 3 judgments went against him. Appeal court on 9th October 2015, judge confirms his expulsion from the PAC. He allegedly misled the IEC by saying he appealed while that was not the case. When the court ordered the IEC to allow the PAC to participate in the local government elections, he apparently tried to appeal against the judgment and lost. Some members of the PAC feel his actions are worse than the enemies of the organization. His name, Letlapa Mphahlele. And he maintains he is the legitimate leader of the PAC. We are live. And you can call us and air your views. The numbers to dial 089-110-4210. Our Twitter handle @QuestionTime24. And indeed, my guest is Letlapa Mphahlele. He is the leader of the PAC. Mkhara.
Tobel.
Welcome to Question Time.
Thanks so much.
Quite a while. This show is known to have tried its best to get to the bottom of what is happening between the two factions of the PAC. And we really appreciate you making time to come and talk to us.
I really appreciate it, and good evening to the listeners and the viewers.
Just briefly tell us, why did the PAC get to where it is today, where there are two factions?
Well, the history is a bit long, but one can sum it in a few words. The people did not adhere to the requirements of the constitution of the PAC. As you know, leadership is elected at the Congress.
Yes. And
in 2012, leadership was elected at Butterworth Congress in the Eastern Cape. Hardly a year after that, some people staged a coup, but I dare say a failed coup, because the branches that elected that leadership are still solidly behind that leadership. So that was the genesis of the crisis.
Okay. Now, the PAC is in tatters now. We don't even know whether you're going to participate in the elections, in the local government elections, and if indeed the PAC is going to participate, who is going to be in the poster, in the main poster? You know, is it you or is it Mbinda?
Well, as far as local government election is concerned, we do not have portraits of leaders.
Okay.
But of course, to answer your question, it's just that when it happens now, people realize that there is something not well within the PAC. But for some time, the Electoral Commission has not been recognizing both factions.
Okay.
And initially, when we went to elections in 2014, they made a mistake of recognizing the other faction. And they registered the PAC. But later on, when they used the PAC constitution as a point of reference, they admitted that that was a serious lapse on their side. So they corrected it, and they said because of this set of circumstances, they were not going to recognize either faction. Now, both of us have not been recognized by the IEC. So now that people are going to elections, some people, you know, live in their own world of hallucination, thinking that they are going to contest the election. You cannot contest the election when you have not been registered with the IEC. and not only registering with the IEC, but constitutionally registering with the IEC. Because after that Pretoria High Court judgment of Judge Mahoka, where, well, it is deeply flawed, but of course they were recognized provisionally until the election time as people who will be representing the PAC in the IEC. That's why they went there when Code of Conduct was signed. Okay. But now, it is very important that the PAC did not register with the IEC. Yeah, but they were provisionally registered. And when we ask the IEC whether there is a provision in the Electoral Act that empower them to provisionally register, they said no, which means they were illegally registered.
Okay. Now, Date Philip Dlamini and Narias Muloto, they have been here. And they say they fired you from the PAC. And Date Dlamini actually says he's the one who presided over the DC, which you didn't even attend.
Yeah, but Mpho, you have been in politics for some time and you are familiar with PAC. Tell me, which PAC leader was fired by two people after they were elected by thousands of delegates who were representing thousands of people as branches? I mean, it's a joke, man. You cannot fire someone. If they had asked for a special Congress, and that special Congress was rejected, but of course the PAC Constitution has a provision for a special Congress. Nothing prescribed by the PAC Constitution was followed. That's why the initial judgment of Judge Homu, actually 5 prayers were in our favor. And it's not true that the full bench, a certain Gauteng full bench, confirmed my expulsion. Yes. But what he said, it said, I did not cite the PAC as a respondent. Yeah. So it was more of a technicality. And those people, just ask them, which court in South Africa confirmed my expulsion from the PAC? At least a court in South Africa rejected my expulsion from the PAC. But there is no court. Let them just produce a document that here is Judge so-and-so who confirmed that Letlapa is expelled from the PAC.
Paul, you are in Limpopo. Paul? Okay, Paul is no longer there, but we are taking your calls on the numbers that will be on your screen now. Let's hear what your take is, and from either faction, we really do not mind. 089-110-4210 is the number to dial. Now, one viewer sent me a tweet earlier before we even came here. It says, ask Letlapa what happened to the motto "Serve, Suffer, Sacrifice." Why are they not sacrificing for the sake of the PAC?
Well, I live that motto. It's just that I cannot parade before the world and say I'm living it. But for the record, I'm the only PAC president who never accepted to live at the presidential house of the PAC. And I continue to pay a rental to this day. So, and of course, I spent 20 years almost saving and sacrificing for this organization. And as PAC Collective, early this year, we met in Bloemfontein, or outside Bloemfontein in Botshabelo, where we even offered to actually resign from our positions as a collective NEC for the sake of unity. And every time we have a gathering, we invite people, the elders, the veterans, the founders of the PAC, they call us, we pitch up, and we tell them that we are not wedded to these positions. Okay. If the PAC is larger than us, actually as a person, I would rather be an ordinary member in a unified PAC than to be a president in a fractionalized PAC.
Makonyana, you are in KZN.
Yes, good evening, how are you?
I'm well, thanks for the call.
I'm okay. I want to ask to Mphahlele, why they can't they put PAC first before putting them first? Because I think to me, they need to put PAC first, not about the leaders, but about the PAC.
Okay, you got it.
This is exactly what we are doing, sir. That's why I've just said some of us are not glued to these positions, and we are actually prepared, for the sake of unity, to part with this so that we have one unified PAC.
What is making it impossible for the PAC to unite?
Mpho, let me be frank with you. When there's no engagement, when people refuse just to engage and they tell you that you are expelled, so that makes it impossible. Because, for instance, the founders of these organizations have invited us, we pitched up, the other people did not do that. I remember, I mean, this crisis that we are going through with the registration, the IEC invited both of us, both factions of the PAC. We went to Centurion at their offices. They said for the sake of the PAC and for the sake of liberation movement, with its heritage and history, PAC should be represented on the ballot paper. Now we have come with a formula. Until it is pronounced by the court who the legitimate leadership is, then we think you should go this way. And unanimously, I mean, on our side, we said, okay. And the other fellows said, no, they were not going to entertain that. So now, people who don't want to engage you, it becomes very difficult to deal with such people.
Sello, you are in Limpopo.
Yes, I'm in Makadunda.
Hey, look. Rion.
Yes, just also to give some details to Mr. Letlapa there.
Yes, he's listening.
Yes, do you think that this divided PAC, if tomorrow it happens that you were to be in power, would you be able to articulate clearly the issue of land as one expects you to under the circumstances? Because I think, I believe very strongly that it is important to, if we need to free the mind, that we free the land. Now, are you capable as an organization to be able to advance a revolutionary trajectory which could ensure that black people in this country are able to take responsibility of the land that you would have restored back to them?
Okay.
Because as we speak now, for example, we have got pockets of land that have been restored to its rightful owners, but we find that those community property associations are failing to run those farms, some of them which are very productive and commercial farms which are supposed to feed the nation.
Okay.
Are you as an organization capable of advancing such a program to ensure that black people can lead, can manage, can produce for the betterment of our South African population?
Thank you very much, Sello.
He was breaking, I did not hear him properly.
Are you, as the PAC in its current form, able to articulate the land question for the benefit of black people in South Africa?
Definitely not, because actually we have degenerated into a legal firm. When we meet, we discuss legal matters.
Yes.
When people go, even now, for instance, I would be happy if you had invited me for a different thing, but now your opening line was about the court ruling on such thing. Yeah, this thing has actually hindered our political program. That's why beyond this dust of elections and others, we are going to go flat out on unifying the PAC and even establishing the structures and stretching a hand of reconciliation to other guys that we have been bogged down, for too long.
David, you are in Davidton.
Good evening, sir.
Welcome, David.
Greetings to Mr. Mphahlele.
Yes, sir.
Yes. My question is one. I am from Davidton, as you know. But now, are you aware that you are the only president of PAC that has taken the party to the courts? And if so, with the current situation whereby the judiciary seems like it's penalizing more of the freedom fighters, what assurance are you having that they're going to give you an answer that will build the party? Thank you.
Well, you must get your facts right. I did not take PAC to court. Actually, it was only in self-defense, because the first people who took this leadership, which was elected in Butterworth, to court, were the other guys. Actually, they prevented me from attending a PAC NEC meeting. So we had to go to court, hence the judgment of Judge Homo. And of course, again, you should get your facts right, because after I was elected for the first time in Qwaqwa in 1996, a former president of the PAC took the leadership to court. So I'm not the first. Unless you are pushing some propaganda, I'm not the first. Get your facts right.
But what he is saying is that, in its current state, it disadvantages a lot of people, including the former liberation fighters who are still languishing in jail.
Correct. Actually, even those who are out of jail, because as you know that we have Azanian People's Liberation Army, a Military Veterans Association, and just after this crisis, those people who were the champions of the PAC veterans actually were kicked out from Sanva. So this, I think, is a coordinated effort, and we suspect that the hand of the state is involved.
Ayanda, you are in KZN.
Hi, Mpo, how are you?
I'm well, thanks for the call, Ayanda.
I'm good, Mpo. I have just one, I don't know, should I say, question or a proposal to your guest.
Okay.
I want to ask, is it possible that both these leaders, both him and the other leader, can allow the members of the PAC to make a decision whether they're going to vote or whatever that they can do, to make a decision and say whoever or the majority of the people that want to be led by whether him or the other leader and vote or whatever that they can do to say, we want to put this person as a legitimate leader of the PAC, and let it be the constituent that makes that decision, instead of going forth and backward or courts and doing all that, and that perhaps would be a better option. Does he agree with me that perhaps they might take that route, or maybe other route that they would do to ensure that this matter is resolved?
Okay, Ayanda, before you go, let me just add that my experience, over time dealing with this PAC issue is that even the constituency itself is divided. So you have branches that owe allegiance to Letlapa and branches that owe allegiance to Mbinda. So it would probably also be technical there, because they are going to accuse each other of, who buzzed too many delegates to conference and all that. But let's hear from him.
Yeah, I think everything is possible if we work within the parameters of the PAC constitution. Because, these people that you call leaders, where were they elected? And which constitution were they using?
They were elected in Mangaung.
In Mangaung?
Yes.
Well, thank you for that. Which constitution were they using?
The PAC.
Well, definitely not, because the PAC constitution says every third year the leader is elected. With them it was every year. Remember, Mr. Mpeti was once, paraded as their leader, but of course we were patient with him until actually he converted and he apologized to us and even to the PAC members at the Congress in Bloemfontein. So I think the allegiance that we must talk about it should not be to Letlapa or to any other individual. It should be to the Constitution. And what does the PAC Constitution say? What does the PAC Constitution say? Because Not only that, we conducted credible elections at our Congress, but the credibility was even deepened by the fact that Electoral Institute of Southern Africa, ASA, was there. And of course, they declared the elections credible, free and fair.
Hold it there. Pagaman, you are in KZN.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm well. Thanks for the call, Pagaman.
Yes. Can I ask a question to Mr. Mphahlele?
Yes, he's listening.
Okay. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you, sir?
Can I ask one question? What makes you to think you are the right and qualified person to lead PAC? Because I can see that you think maybe courts are the people who are going to say you are the right person. But do you think that if you come back from winning courts, the members of PAC are not going to allow you? Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Pagaman.
Well, I believe in democracy. I don't believe in juristocracy, the rule by jurists or the court. That's why I never waive a court order as an authentication to my legitimacy to lead the PAC. I always say the PAC members through their branches. I refer to the Congress. So it is not me who say the courts or the judges are protecting me, the jurists. No, not at all. And well, of course, I don't think I'm the best person to lead the PAC. And I know there are better people to lead the PAC. Some of them, on the eve of Congress, we approached them that they should come and lead the PAC, but they are in professions that maybe they'll be compromised. Mm-hmm. So I don't think I'm the best person to lead the PAC. But of course, I avail myself when the PAC members, through their branches, ask me to stand.
Okay. Mala, Bushbuck Ridge.
Hey, Beggarsford Mpho.
Oh, Beggarsford, I'm sorry. My apologies.
Lega Mosh.
Oh, go ahead.
Tamishana le mogala wa Letlapa Mpho ke le bothata le mogala wa Letlapa. From 2009.
Yes.
Go ne le ma student ya ile gore ne a le ka University of Limpopo ba phayarilwe ba rakilwe.
Eh.
Mr. Letlapa singera kwa le papolele ya go inyane. Where the members of PASMA, right, a go ne bothata ba we ba ne ba rakwa go bontsha ba rakelwa gore ba nyaka go bona PAC e le strong. Swale question ka ke gore Mr. Letlapa o ne le mengwaga ye mentši le president ya PAC.
Yes.
O dirile eng se aka se botsa go batho ba se bontsha batho gore nna ke berekile so ke gopela gore le nkgeteng gape goba assistant go goneng go ya pele ka gore ga ke lebella record ela Mr. Letlapa is not the right person to lead PAC.
Okay.
One, I am we have the new party by the name of EFF. Ye leng gore o ka re ke leng gore e thomile ka mengwagela ya PAC go mme thomile maabane go Mr. Letlapa ke gale ba le gona nna ke thoma go mmona mo I was the member of PAC at the University of Limpopo.
Okay.
So bona Mr. Letlapa le hono
Mala Rulebogile there, Mala there saying basically, what did you do for the expelled PASMA students at the University of Limpopo? And what really can you show to say, you know, you've been a leader of the PAC for so many years, and this is what I've done as leader. Very shortly, we've run out of time.
Again, you should get these facts right. Fortunately, the SABC televised it live when we were in Botshabelo outside Bloemfontein. I spoke passionately about the students and their plight. And PASMA leadership or leaders from different campuses were represented, and they were very grateful. So I doubt that the person who was speaking was a PAC member. Now, what I've done, let us talk about collective, because and what does a person do under the circumstances? But the first thing after I was elected was to push in the PAC so that we can be self-reliant. Okay. And in many ways we tried, but once the crisis set in, we could not succeed.
Finally, where to from here?
Well, as you see that the dust is swelling around the elections, but as PAC members we are busy. We are contacting our structures, and I was in Limpopo, I think I will be in the Free State, But after the elections, because everybody is obsessed with the elections, we are still going to ask our brothers so that we have unity, because our primary objective is to unify the PAC. Not as leaders, we can give away these positions so long as we have one PAC.
Letlapa Mphahlele.
Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
That was Letlapa Mphahlele right here on Question Time, and that was Question Time for today. A big thank you to my guests and to you for watching the show. From me and the crew, you have yourself a wonderful time. Goodbye.